Hello everyone and welcome back to the And Mobiles Videos YouTube channel. I'm And Mobiles Videos, otherwise known as And Mobile Central, depending on what day of the week and what video you're watching. And welcome to Memorial Crescent in Westcountry version 3.03 by the UK development team. The Westcountry map is one of the best maps out there. I mean, I do say that by about quite a few nowadays, but it is by far one of the best maps out there. And what makes it even better is it is a free-to-download map. It is of high payware quality, but they give it away for people for free, so that everyone can have a little drive of some buses on a UK map in OMSI, and that I just think is really, really cool. So in front of us is YC51LXY in the Swoops livery. Now, this has quite an interesting story. Once we get going, I will discuss this livery and why I was quite surprised to actually find it on the Repaint pack. Yeah, I mean, I will explain that shortly. But for now, I'm going to set the bus up as we are going to be setting off and driving the 122 service, running from here, that is Memorial Crescent, all the way to Stone Harbour. This bus wants to start. There we go. There we go. And then let's log into this, and then we can hopefully get started. And we are driving 306, I believe. Oh, has the machine decided it's not going to work? More interestingly, we only have one person waiting. I don't quite know how that's worked. Oh, so it then makes a chirp now. I don't know if this is just, or whatever this is, but... yeah, it's okay. It just... I mean, I'll let this person on here, seeing as they're the only person waiting, but I will also move down to the appropriate stand. Again, having now been to Weymouth, I do particularly understand this setup a little bit more. So that I must say is quite a beneficiary factor. Let's see, there we go, a few more people. So yeah, the 122, as you can see behind us, is usually an open top, but I thought, well, we'll take the Renown on it. It was initially I was going to drive the 12, but I thought, nah, I want to have a little drive into the holiday camp. So here we are. So yeah, this livery, now I found it in the Repaint pack, and I understand that the Repaint pack features liveries that were worn by buses and all the liveries that were realistic. There's no fictional ones in there. They're all liveries that have been worn by B10s in some shape or form. So when I came across this livery, it took me by surprise, as I like to think I'm rather knowledgeable of different liveries, different repaints, things like that. However, I had absolutely no idea that this livery was ever worn by a Renown at all. That is certainly not like me. Having done a little bit of research, it appears that it was either only just this B10 or the odd other one that wore it, as there is hardly any... Okay, it looks like we're chasing another. As it appears that there's hardly any photos of Renown in this livery. I had to do some proper research to find one of them in these colours. And the only one that came up was 306. That's why we're driving 306, because I believe this might have been the only one. So what's quite interesting about this livery is, again, to the best of my knowledge, it never actually got branded on the side. It was just the Swoops. I mean, you see the writing on the back. I believe that was obviously there, but I don't believe any of them ever got branding on the side. It was mainly just the livery that they featured. So it was basically for the Knaresborough Road corridor, the corridor of buses between Harrogate, Knaresborough and the estates, that this sort of livery came about. It was replaced by the branding for the 1 shortly afterwards. At this time, these services ran as 100, 101, 102, 103, and shortly after, when they went for the sort of gold, bronzy and burgundy brown Harrogate and District also livery, or then became Harrogate Connect. You've taken all my people. I didn't think we'd have another 122 with us, if I'm honest. So it got replaced at that point by the 1, and then is just morphed into the Knaresborough Road buses, pretty much. So it's very much just the 1 branding that they really promote. So yeah, these never got branded. However, the batch of B7RLE Eclipse Urbans at Keighley that rocked up in this livery, identical to this, were branded. They ended up being branded for the shuttle service, the 662 between Keighley and Bradford, and the vehicles, it is very, very strange to say, but the vehicles are actually still on that route till this day. The vehicles have served 18 years on that route. Various different liveries. I believe they're on their 3rd livery and 2nd refurbishment, most of them. But they're all still looking very, very nice. On the route, I mean, the route has seen some heavy frequency decreases recently, and that means not all of them are required. But the ones that still operate the service, and despite those that do operate schools and other routes, and the ones that still operate the service are still doing a sterling job on the route, despite the clean air zone that they aren't actually compliant for. How early are we? Just take the wheels off the physical curb. And then we'll get a screenshot. We may as well while we're here. We may as well. Now I think I'm just going to have to move because I'm causing chaos. So I will, however, see if that works a bit near. It's where the lighting is, it's not going to work. So we'll keep going because we're just bringing everything to a standstill, even though we are a few minutes early. However, there is the open topper somewhere behind us, so you can take anyone. Oh, that's helpful. Yeah, that's not going to work as a screenshot idea. having to give way to cars and things the wrong way around on a junction. Gotta love OMSI. But yeah, as I say, I was really taken by surprise by the fact that this livery was worn by Renown. From the photos I saw as well, the bus wasn't refurbished or anything like that. It was just painted up in this livery to support the Eclipses that were new at the time. Because as well as sort of Keighley getting the Eclipses, the Harrogate Bus Company, the Harrogate District, Blazefield, Harrogate District, I believe at the time, also got new vehicles as well. So they got new Eclipses, they operated on the services and what have on the Knaresborough Road corridor and were painted in this livery. As I say, without branding, the ones in Keighley got the shuttle branding down the side. The Harrogate ones that was a slightly different swoop. So there was, I believe, the difference was that there's the odd extra swoop on this one, or the odd colour difference. But the basics of it was it was pretty much the same livery. The ones in Harrogate never got branded, or if they did, it was very short-lived, as I haven't found any photos, and predominantly ran around unbranded in this base livery. One thing I do find interesting with the repaint, though, is it does say Transdev on the side. I didn't properly check the photos that I saw, actually, to see if it was Blazefield or Transdev, and I'm rather certain that this was launched during the Blazefield era. So it does mean if it transitioned over to Transdev, it does mean that it lasted in this livery for a fair bit. If not, I believe it was the early 2000s that they took over, so potentially this was actually, that would make a little bit more sense. This was actually painted up at the time that the Eclipses were new, that was most likely an investment by Transdev themselves. That wasn't particular surprise. But my recollection of that era is a little bit fuzzy, and I'm not as read up on it as I possibly should be. See if I can get a screenshot here. Oh, lovely. More railings. Excellent. Let's just orchestrate a photo. We'll orchestrate it. Oh, no, the railings have still decided that we're not going to have that as a possibility. Oh, dear. Yeah, because if I do that, the railings still want to stay. Okay. We'll manage. Can't even hear the bus, you can just hear the truck engine behind. There we go, that's better. It took a while for it to drop down again. A long time. must admit though, I do really like the livery. It was a really, really nice livery. As I say, I'm still perplexed by the idea that Renown wore it. I never knew that until this repaint pack had come out and I did my research. But I do think it surprisingly suits it. I mean, it makes it look more modern than it is. I mean, the headlights and the front end I don't think look as good as it did on the Eclipses at the time. For many of you, I don't know if you'll know the comparison, but I will possibly need to try and drive or try and find somewhere that would potentially be willing to do a repaint on the veiling. So just for a little bit of contrast. But for those of you that have seen the livery on the Eclipses or potentially do your pause this video and do your research, I do think that overall, it's okay on the Renown. I mean, it does slightly suit it. It does make aspects of it modern, but it was definitely more for the Eclipse. Definitely more. But to say that this bus was not sort of the intended market for the livery when they would have been designing it, it still looks pretty cool. Don't stop there. Okay. You still made it round, and I just rather had a little bit more room to achieve it. I sort of didn't remember the bell going off. However, I thought I'd better look because it is usually a popular bus stop. And then lo and behold, there was people there. So I think after this livery, I mean, the writing as well at the back was cool. After this livery, I think I will be going even deeper into the older eras of Blazefield and that kind of thing. Into the original Harrogate and District liveries that the Renown's wore. I'm quite excited for it, if I'm honest, as we have sort of gone through the eras, and don't get me wrong, there'll be repaints that are revisited, and there'll be modern era repaints that weren't covered that will feature very soon, but for now I think delving even further into the past is definitely the way to go. So there we go. So that was the 122 in arguably semi-record time. I mean, just looking at how early we got in, this route. I think it again has suffered from the Westcountry updates. Not as in like it's a rubbish route, don't get me wrong, it's a lovely route, but because I've driven it that many times, I've driven 35 that many times, it doesn't feel as intense or as long as I think it used to. I think that's a mix of obviously the perception of sort of the map being out for a while, but also when you drive the route a lot, you know the route, you get used to it, so you're not slowing down in certain places, you're not having to sort of prepare a bit more in certain areas or slow down for the unknown. Because you know the route, you kind of just floor it round and know where you need to slow down, know where you can power up, and I think that has also had an influence as well. But it's still a lovely route and hopefully a nice video with this repaint, as I say. the Harrogate and District Swoops for the Knaresborough Road 100, 101, 102 corridor. A lovely repaint, as I say, a surprising one that I wasn't that aware of existed. But you see, we do love a good surprise from time to time, and this this was just one of them. So yeah, a lovely repaint, and do keep sending in your suggestions for repaints that I can drive in the Harrogate Renown Studio Polygon Renown repaint pack, and do send in your map and route suggestions for them. Do keep sending them in the comments. I am reading them, so do keep sending them in, and what have. So for now, I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have done, do be sure to click that like button so that more people can find it and enjoy like you have. And if you haven't already, do be sure to subscribe to the Bus Videos YouTube channel for more content like this from the simulation section, as well as an archive of over 5,000 backseat and engine-focused public transport videos from the UK and beyond. With buses, trams, trains and more, there's something on there for everyone, and there's quite a few old videos from the old Harrogate Renowns from real life, so do go and check out the Transdev archive playlist if you haven't already. Once again, though, I would like to thank you all for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed this one, and I will see you all in the next video, mate. Goodbye for now. Bye.